welcome to DNA. Today our special guest is Fanzi, and we are going to talk about what it's like to be a fashion model.
I will take a picture every 5 seconds, but I need a gesture every 5 seconds till I have 200 photos. Usually we have something on top of the head. At the beginning it's like you're standing there and for an hour or something.
手模、唇模、角模。
We also have a fitting model and should belongs to other industries instead of counting on their looks. So I guess
Bias, gender bias.
a big bias.
Do people recognize you as a fashion model on the street because the way you walk might be very different from others? You can
Not really.
easily stand out.
I guess by the height they already know.
That's true. How tall are you?
I'm 174.
174
I'm on the
centimeters.
short side of a fashion model. Usually the ideal height would be around 176, 177 up to 182 centimeters.
Does the height matter a lot in terms of advantage in your career?
Yes, it matters a lot because most of the garments that they make, they made into a certain size. If you're like shorter than average, then the dressing assistant needs to make modifications on you. And also the shoe size, if you're shorter, then your foot is usually smaller.
I see.
It could create problems.
Interesting. That's a mysterious part to me all the time. You know, whenever I look at the fashion show, there are different types of garments and the models probably have different size, right? And as well as the shoes, as you mentioned. But it seems like they change into the different garments all the time and there's no time to adjust for your body size.
Yeah, at the fashion show on the backstage, usually everything it's done on the day. Each model has one or two dressing assistants, and they have a dressing room with a big hanger, and then each clothes is lined up there. Everything is made to the model size already, and they have a picture taken when, let's say, I was doing rehearsal for this show.
So you guys do rehearsal?
Of course,
Okay.
and then they take a picture of the final look, and then they attach to the garments, and then when the dressing assistants see you come back, they know what's the next one to put on you and how to put it, because sometimes it's kind of complicated to put on the dress, so they have to practice it a few times so they can do it like in 30 seconds in the real show.
I see. Do they also do different hairstyle for you?
Hairstyles, usually it's like it starts with the basic one for some shows, and then they adjust it or build it up as it goes to the fancy ones. And some other shows, you just keep on the same look and the same hair all the time.
I
do
see.
it, and all the hairstylist needs to do is to fix it a little bit.
Is there a selection process?
Yes, usually there are 2 ways to get onto the runway. The most common one was through audition. It's like, for example, a designer house decided I'm gonna do a show in the spring-summer fashion week, and then they would contact the model agency saying that, hey, look, this is the theme of this season, and we have what kind of ideas for this show, and they would describe their needs to the fashion agency, and then the agency would put up a portfolio of certain models they think best fit. And on the audition day, usually the models are presented, and they would wear anything like low-key clothes, like jeans, like shirts, and
Like a neutral?
right, neutral, and anything but could show the figure.
I see.
And very, very light makeup, no big hairs, and then you would walk in front of the client, and then they will decide it. They will also see your resume and your pictures from your previous shows and decide if you're selected.
Wow, how competitive is that?
It is very competitive. Usually, if a model has an agent to work with, for a big show, they might need like 20 to 30 models, and they might have 60 candidates.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so only 1/3 would be selected.
Yeah.
Do they always do selection for each fashion show every year, or are there like annual contract type of thing?
Sometimes they have like a contract with agency, like I exclusively use the models from this company, and sometimes they might have contract to a few agencies. And And occasionally designers might have strong preference on certain models, so they would contact them and say, hey, I want A, B, C, D to come to my show.
I see.
And then the agent would work with the model's schedule to see if they can make it or not.
Gotcha. So I assume the power on each side is different based on how famous this
Right.
model is.
And also how big is the brand name.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense because I feel like in a lot of fashion shows I can recognize the faces throughout
Yes.
all the shows. You know, like for Victoria's Secret's show, like it's like the dream of all the female fashion models to get in. It must be super competitive. Does it require even more intense training to get
Yes.
into that?
Yes, especially for lingerie models, there's a extra requirement is the texture of the skin. It's not only about the figure, the muscle definition, the bone structure of the face, and they need extra quality of hair. Like your hair looks very shiny and sexy, and also the skin texture must be superb.
Can't they just apply something onto your skin or hair to make it look fabulous?
For hair maybe, but for skin it's very hard.
Huh, interesting. I never paid attention to their skin, but it's the whole package, I guess.
Yes.
I could imagine it must be super awful to fall on the stage, right?
Right.
Have you ever fell on the stage?
I did. And what happened to me was I was walking with sandals with those kind of belt tied on the waist, and I was walking and the belt broken, so the shoe was gone. So I finished the half of the runway with one shoe, and the other feet was just like these.
Wow.
Because I couldn't go back to pick up that one. Even if I picked up, it's a broken one. And there's a very, very precise timing of each model to walk on the stage. Every 6 seconds, it's another model coming out, and everything is about timing. It's like Olympic Games. And so if I went backward, I would postpone the show for another maybe 30 seconds, so it's not allowed.
Gotcha.
And also...
And then you had to act super calm.
Super calm, super cool, as if nothing happened,
Keep
even
smiling.
though my knees was hurting. And also we count the steps in the rehearsals, like how many steps that you make till you reach the front part, which
Oh,
all
really?
the photographers were there. So during those rehearsals, it's the time for models to count, because each one step is different, so you need to know how many steps till you reach there, because you cannot do half in between to adjust till
Why
you're
does it
final.
matter? Is it for photos? Or-
It's not for photos, they're just making sure that you don't do those half steps to adjust, because that would look a little bit awkward, not professional, because you might started big steps and then you all of a sudden you started to be like walking slowly.
You mentioned quite a few times that the agent will decide, the agent will provide the portfolio. So I guess the agent is super important in the selection process, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very important.
So does that mean you have to maintain a very good relationship with your agent to help you be selected?
It doesn't really has to maintain a very good relationship. There are top agents in the industry, and then usually they would select who I want to sign the contract with. So whoever, let's say the agent picked you, that means he or she sees the potential on you, and all you need to do is to work hard and to show your best.
Reflecting on your fashion model career, what is the favorite part you had?
I got the opportunity to travel a lot at a very young age. I get the chance to work with a lot of very talented and passionate people. So that's my favorite part. And of course, I had a lot of exposure to most of the fancy outfits. I said most of them because some of them, they just look a little bit unique, too unique.
Weird. What is the most challenging part for you in your career?
I would say is to keep up the energy level during the fashion weeks, because usually during the fashion weeks a model needs to go to maybe 3-4 shows in one day. So a day starts maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, and you get yourself ready and go to the first show. It takes a couple of hours, and then take off the makeup and do that, refresh the hairs, maybe to wash it and then dry it, and then come to the second one for the second look, and then the third one, the fourth one till midnight. And it's quite demanding in terms of your energy level. And also during the show and even the evening before the show, usually a model doesn't eat a lot of stuff, because if you drink water, it's gonna make the face a little bit swallow with the puffy eyes, and if you eat like breakfast, and then you won't have a flat belly.
I see.
So it's like a fast and then a very heavy physical work.
Also helps you to keep fit all the time.
Right. just not to faint.
So who is your favorite model then?
I don't really have a favorite one. Not really. Can't think of one. No.
So there are a lot of top fashion models in China and also like internationally. Do you see the difference among them? Like what's unique about each of them?
So that's why I said I don't really have a most favorite one, because a lot of them looks amazing to me, because each of them has a very unique bone structure, or they have different kind of energy on the runway, so it's pretty different.
What is the ultimate success of a model in your mind?
It's hard to say. Some of the model, they want to be on the top like runways, and some of them decided to shift them to the backstage.
What would they do in backstage?
In the backstage, they could become an editor, they could become a show director. Some of the models, they also wanted to start their own brand names. Yes.
Like a Cara become an actress.
Yes. Or an actress become a director. Started counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with the headset, and then he tapped on my shoulder. That means a go.
What was your mom's advice to you?
Keep it as a habit. Don't get too serious. Being a model, it's like the most insecure job in the world.
The word of model is crazy.
It's like a monster.